Hello everyone, just a quick message ahead of this video. I've launched a second channel focusing on Total War Shogun 2. It's probably my favorite video game of all time, but also something completely different from Terraforming Mars. If you also like Shogun 2 or you don't know yet but want to give it a chance, check out the description because I have linked my second channel there. I've already uploaded my first campaign series playing the Shimazu, and I started uploading the second one, playing as the Chosokabe. But let's get back to Terraforming Mars. Have fun with the video. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of What to Pick. In this video series I go over a few different starting hands and explain what I would pick and why. And in today's first starting hand we actually have the choice between two Venus Next corporations, both with a Venus tech as well. So let's see. Normally I like Morningstar a bit better than Celestic, because with Celestic you really need a floater card on your starting hand to make this corp work. And Morningstar, you can pick up something like Venusian animals, stratospheric birds, something like that later down the track if you're lucky, or even with drawing this. It just has higher starting capital as well, so I think this is a little bit more flexible. But if you have a good floater card, then Celestic probably works better. Okay, we have really good engine preludes with Allied Bank and UNMI Contractor, for example. But we could also take Supply Drop if we need the starting capital or we need the 3 plants. The 3 plants we're playing on Elysium are really good if you have an early tile placement as well as an ocean, because 3 plants from Supply Drop plus the 5 plants you get from these 2 tiles let you convert. And if you place a tile here and an ocean here, you can convert here and get even cash back from that. So that can be nice. But if we don't have that, I'd probably go with UNMI Contractor, because MSI has just a lot of starting capital already. And drawing that card could also be useful to hopefully draw a Venus tech and get a good combo going. But let's see what we have here. Okay, we have Arctic Algae. No matter which corp we're picking up that card. That's insanely good. We have one floater card on hand, but it's really bad, especially on its own. So I would never pick this my starting hand, even with Celestic. It's just not good. Also, it has a requirement of 2 science tags. We cannot play that immediately. And what you really want to avoid with Celestic is having no playable floater card in your first turn, so that you have to add your floaters on the corp itself, where they just give you a third of a point each. And you can get really unlucky with the 2 draw floater cards that you draw. You could get something like stratospheric birds and floater technology and have nothing that you can put your floaters on. So never trust this. You need a floater card on your starting hand to make this corp work. So I think I'm going with MSI, and I'm going with the engine preludes. I don't think we need the starting capital, and we don't have tiles and stuff to use the plants with. And the cool thing about MSI here is that we can pick up Ishtar Mining, and I think we would need 1 Venus step to be able to play that. But that's probably pretty easy with the 3 Venus cards we draw. And I'd probably also pick up a Neutralizer Factory. What I will definitely pick up is Arctic Algae and Mine. Just 2 solid cards. Like Arctic Algae is not only solid, it's really good. But Mine is just, you basically always pick this up on your starting hand. That's just really solid production card. And other than that, I'm not quite sure. With Arctic Algae, the oxygen is probably moving up quite fast, so you could think about Predators. It's not like we're on Hellas, where Predators are relevant for Eccentric, but it's still a good card if you can get it down early and anyone else has played something like Small Animals or Ecozone. Red Suits is really bad, wouldn't pick this up. Toll Station, I wouldn't gamble on this. Commercial District is really bad, wouldn't pick this up. I already talked about how bad Stratopolis is. And then imported GHG is solid, but we don't have any combo potential for it, and also no other heat prod. I think this is more likely looking like a long game strategy with MSI, except that we have Arctic Algae. But I'd probably go with these 5 cards and just hope that we draw something that lets us increase Venus at least once, so we can play Ishtar Mining Gen 1 and go from there. With the 3 Venus cards that we draw, it would be optimal if we find Venusian animals or something like that, because that also fits very well into a long game strat. Aerial mappers would also be great to have some card draw. But yeah, that's basically the starting hand I'd pick here. I don't think I would go for Celestic. But let's move on to the next starting hand. All right, hand number 2, and it's for some reason again 2 Venus Next Corps. I didn't plan for this, but well, I think here the decision is even easier without even seeing the starting hand. Aphrodite is one of, if not the worst corp in the game. Probably not the worst corp because it has 47 starting capital. But it's really, really bad. And I'd probably go for Viron here all of the time. But let's see what the starting hand has. Viron really benefits from having a good action card on your starting hand. And if you don't, it's just really generic. Maybe in that case, you can even go for Aphrodite. Okay, we have some good preludes. Basically, these 3 are all pretty good. I would probably always pick Experimental Forest. You can put that on the 3 cards or on the 3 plants, and both is pretty good. We're also first, so if you want to put it on the 3 cards, then we can. And then Metal Rich and Supplier are also both really good. If we need the power prod, we're picking Supplier. If not, then I probably pick Metal Rich. Okay, we have good action cards with fish and livestock, but of course we can't play those early on. So that's a shame. And the only other action card we have is Extractor Balloon, which I think is one of the worst Venus Next cards in the game. So that's not great. Makes Viron not that great here. Is this then a situation where I would go for Aphrodite? Thing is, Aphrodite also doesn't offer anything. We have nothing to increase Venus with, because we don't want to pick up Extractor Balloons. It's just shite. And the plant prod also doesn't combo that well with anything we have here, because we have no other plant prod. To be exact, we have not a great starting hand at all, I have to say. If we look at milestones, we don't even have like Energizer, because we could get Energizer pretty easily with Heat Trappers, Giant Space Mirror, and Supplier, because we'll once again play on Elysium and not Hellas. Not good on Generalist, not great on Specialist. We have 1 plant tag on, and we have 1 green tag on both of the corps for Ecologist, but nothing really to follow it up early on. So yeah, well, it's not looking great on the milestones. You could pick Extractor Balloons with Viron and grab Hoverlord really fast. But after that, what are you doing with that card? It's just not that great. So Deimos Down is of course a good card. You can take like Giant Space Mirror, Heat Trappers together with Supplier instead of Metal Rich, because you don't need that much starting capital. And then you have a lot of energy prod that you can use to increase heat with. And in that case, fish and local heat trapping are also good pickups. Just because the heat will go up quite fast with that amount of prod, and then fish is great, and local heat trapping, you can use that as well to put some animals on there. And in that case, I would skip livestock, because you only really need one point animal. You could think about deep well heating, but I don't think it's that necessary. But we haven't decided on a corp yet. It's probably actually Aphrodite here. Same amount of starting capital really, but the plant prod really helps over having nothing at all, basically. But not great either way. Like, I would probably go like this. And if you really wanted to shoot for Hoverlord, then do it with Viron. Do it with Viron, take extractor balloons, play that first gen, and add 2 floaters on it each gen. And then grab Hoverlord in Gen 2, because you start off with 3 floaters on this. In Gen 1 you get to 5, in Gen 2 you get to 7. And afterwards, starting in Gen 3, you can start removing them, and you will basically have an infinite supply, because you can use Viron each gen to add a floater on it and an extractor balloon to remove 2, but you have 7 on it already, so you're good for 7 gens, basically. But I would probably not go for this. I think you can do it because you're not looking great on any of the other milestones. Maybe if you find more power production, you could try a specialist with power production. Pick deep well heating as well, but I think it's overkill. I think that's what I would go for and not be that happy about it, I have to admit. But yeah, let's get to the last starting hand actually. Right, and finally, for the last starting hand, we have Saturn Systems versus Point Luna, and I made sure to turn off Venus for this because I didn't want to discuss 2 Venus corps again. But Point Luna is busted. Let's take that for now. Supply drop, really good for Point Luna because you have such low starting capital. The other, these 2 are also quite good. Let's see if we can combo the heat prod with anything, but yeah, I'd probably pick this first, but maybe mining operations can be nice as well, but that's a lot of steel. Insects and Arctic algae is amazing. Alright, in that case I'd probably not pick Polar Industries just because you place that ocean ahead of playing Arctic algae, so probably not that great. Probably going for mining ops and supply drop in that case. Arctic algae, flooding for sure, indentured workers for sure, insects. And then space elevator is really good. Oh my god, yeah. We can use all our steel on this. We have 12 steel. 12 times 2 is 24. So 12 steel and 1 titanium, and this card is paid for. And then we have Seal Prod to use this every gen. I'd probably pick up herbivores as well. Do we want mineral deposit? Not quite sure. I don't think so. We have 2 steel prod with this. We have even some steel. No, we use all of our steel on space elevator, but we're not playing another building tech following that. And then we have 2 steel prods, so I don't think we need mineral deposit. What I would still pick up is fuel generators. That really cheap power production card can be really useful. This situation, we would have 17 money left over. That's enough to play Arctic algae. 5 money left over after that. And then we can pay for this just with minerals, sell. We have another 5 money, so 10 money left over. And if we want to, we can even flood, but I'd probably wait on that. Yeah, supply. I think this is the easiest starting hand to decide, and for sure the strongest. No Earth techs, but still Point Luna has great potential. Every Earth tech you see in the draft is amazing. I would definitely pick this over Saturn Systems. To pick Saturn Systems in this situation, I would have wanted to see card draw and a Jovian multiplier. But we don't have that, so let's go for Point Luna. Definitely mining ops and supply drop with the starting hand. Arctic algae flooding, indentured insects, fuel, space elevator, and herbivores. And this is an amazing starting hand in my opinion. You have space elevator online in Gen 1. You have steel prod to back it up. You have Arctic algae online Gen 1. You have insects on hand to follow it up. You have herbivores for point generation. It's a great starting hand. I would love to play this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode of What to Pick. If you did, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing. And also in the description, you'll find my Twitch and my Twitter. So maybe head on over there and leave a follow. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.